did you watch the Tyler Oliveira video? I exposed New Jersey's Jewish invasion. 8.5 million views. Yikes.
I thought he did us the biggest favor because he couldn't contain his hate. He was seething with hate. He couldn't even hide it.
Hostile takeovers, right?
What does that mean, a hostile takeover? What's hostile about buying a house on the market?
For over asking price.
If we get on the zoning committees because we were voted on the zoning committee, that's called democracy. We didn't overthrow a regime. We have elections like every other community in the country has fair elections. We are very good neighbors. We are very safe.
We are.
We're relatively quiet. We don't bother our neighbors at all. He ignored 90% of what's really going on in the community.
I want to read some of the top comments. Public money should not go to private schools. That sounds illegal.
Well, it's legal, so that's fine. Thank you, Agudah Israel.
Agudah Israel. I personally don't know a lot of what the Agudah does on a practical level. What does the Agudah do?
Everyone's gonna roll their eyes. Oh, he drank the Kool-Aid. He's doing this again.
Did you drink the Kool-Aid?
Of course I drank the Kool-Aid.
Okay.
The reality is, the Agudah wasn't started as a service organization. Advocacy and government work is the hardest thing to sell.
I feel like this has been consistent as anything since the day I was born. Is like, what does the Agudah do? What does the Agudah do? They take our money, they make the Siyam Shas, they make money on that also. What in the world does the Agudah do? They do nothing. Why does it exist? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Meaningful Podcast. This one is a big one with Avi Schnall, and we discuss so many things. Lakewood, Tyler Oliveira, the Agudah, all the things that you're talking about at your Shabbos table. What is going on with tuition? Why are we still paying such prices? What about this guy that came to KJ in Lakewood? How did we just take that? Nobody wanted to speak up for our community. What is going on? We spoke about that plus a lot more in this episode with Avi Schnall. I hope you enjoy. Please leave a comment down below. Let's keep the conversation going. That is our goal here at Meaningful People. Of course, this episode is sponsored by my friends at PZ Deals because the weather is getting nice and you're going to need some stuff. And that stuff is something that you don't need to pay full price for because you can have the PZ Deals app and never, ever pay full price again. Right now, head to the App Store if you haven't already. Download the PZ Deals app and never pay full price again. Anytime you're about to go order something online, hey, pause. PZ Deals app. You heard it here first, second, and third. Of course, the episode is also sponsored by my friends at Kol Chabad, the Pushka app. Yes, my streak continues, giving every single day. Download the Pushka app right now. Pushka.cc/meaningful. Get tzedakah every single day through the Kol Chabad Pushka app. Your soul will thank you and your guf because it feels good to give. It feels good to give. Thank you, Kol Chabad. And I want to give a big shout out to all you Plus members of Meaningful Minute who are keeping us going. Thank you so much for being here. More episodes, more content coming your way. But for now, here is the episode with Avi Schnall.
Lakewood's got office buildings.
Why is that? Like how Lakewood?
They built it. They have the space, the land. We were building in a flash.
Do you think it's only about land? Because I think there's
sure.
Five towns had infrastructure. They had land.
I don't know why they didn't think about it.
Maybe
there's no vision.
Maybe the Asagas are not.
But it wasn't like that. The Hasagas, the
happens to be the Lakewood offices are
gorgeous.
The Boulevard of Americas, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
it's
just
like wow. Yeah. It's like Manhattan. It's like Manhattan.
And they're not. They're not done. There's many more buildings that are going up.
That's going to really bother the YouTubers.
And when they started, if you look at the buildings that are there now, they're like 3-4 stories.
Yeah.
The new ones are 7-8 stories.
Really?
So you're going to have a bunch of 8-story buildings coming into town soon.
That's going to bother some of these YouTubers now.
It will bother them for sure. Food stamps.
Yeah.
Because we have 17 kids, a family.
Right. Do you know anybody with 17 kids, Avi?
My wife actually comes from 16 kids.
Oh my gosh.
When he said, I was like, yeah, that's normal.
Anybody else?
Food stamps.
Anybody else? You know, like
there happen to be a few families in Lakewood that have like 16, 17
kids. Few families?
Yeah, that's what it is. Right, exactly. There's maybe 30 out of the 10,000 families.
It's not just 10,000 families.
About 15,000 families, whatever it is.
Do you know how many families are in Lakewood?
About 15,000 families.
I feel like it's so much more.
It's much more people because every family has like 6-7 kids. So there's 60,000 kids in the school system. But the truth is, if you combine Lakewood and Toms River and Jackson and that whole area, you're probably hitting 25,000 families.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about just Lakewood.
The Ocean County, Monmouth County, Jewish community.
25,000.
Probably 25,000 families.
From
families, yeah.
Not talking about population.
No. From families.
What's the population?
Well, that depends because Jackson itself has like 50,000, has 90,000 people living there.
Okay.
But only, let's say, 8,000 are Jewish. Toms River has 90,000 residents.
What percentage of Ocean County is from?
Maybe 20%.
It's a very large percentage.
It's a huge percentage from a county. County-wide, there's no other county that has 20% that's Jewish.
It's
Except
also
for New York. But like, let's say Passaic County.
20% of New York is.
Oh, no, let's say the county. It's a Kings County.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know what comprises Kings County. Is it just?
Oh, is it just Flatbush,
right,
okay.
Middlewood? I don't know what's part of Kings County.
Nassau County. You think Nassau County is 20% from?
Maybe. How big is Nassau County about? What's included besides the 5 towns?
But like, do
right,
chat.
that's what it
do
depends.
chat. Don't do Google.
Like if you look at the Ocean County has like 50 cities in it. There's Lacey. By the way, it's called Forked River, not Forked River. It's Forked River.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a little town. There's Lacey and there's Manchester and there's Forked River and there's Point Pleasant and there's all these little towns. So there's like 50 towns in Ocean County. So even though we talk about Lakewood, Jackson, Toms River, Manchester, that's it. That's where the people live.
Is Coventry its own town?
No. Coventry is Lakewood.
Do people who live in Coventry think it's its own town?
No. They're proud to be part of the Lakewood community.
Country.
Own country,
yeah.
Its own country? What are the numbers? What are the numbies?
How many people live in Nassau County?
Yeah. Ask how many are from. I'm so curious. How many, like... You just drove from Lakewood?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the city soon.
But I have a guy that's taking me, so it's
nice.
convenient.
That's
part of how it goes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Otherwise, it's impossible.
Otherwise, you can't work.
You can't work.
You ever go to Albany?
I've never been there yet.
Okay.
I've never been there. I hope to be there soon, actually.
Yeah.
I never had a need to be there. Because when I worked in the New Jersey office, it was New Jersey.
No, good.
When I went to the Washington office, it was Washington.
Yeah.
That's 300,000 Jews. 300,000 people.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of people.
300,000 people.
No, sorry. 1.3 million people, about 20% Jewish.
In Nassau County? There are 300,000 Jews in Nassau County?
Yeah, about 20%.
That's the...
Well, not from.
Yeah, maybe a lot, but not from.
Not from.
Let's say from people, you may be talking about...
10% of that.
Maybe 10% of that. Because you think about it, I look at the yeshiva population. You go to the 5 towns, right? How many, let's call it mainstream yeshivas are there?
Why mainstream? I mean,
no, I'll tell you what I'm getting at.
Hafter's not a mainstream yeshiva.
We'll include Hafter and Halb and Rambam, right?
Yeah. Hafter, Halb, Rambam, Darche, Shivitana.
Right, South Shore.
You're
hitting maybe 10 yeshivas. And then you have all girls schools again, so you got 13 yeshivas.
I would say like 15 to 20,000 families.
No, it's not. Because if you combine all those schools together,
it's the same families.
Exactly.
Around 60 to 100,000 from Jews.
What? I think
that's a huge number. I think it's much less than that. You think you know what I'm getting at? If you take the families,
right? It's overlapping.
All the population, all the girls in Benos Beis Yaakov, let's say, are the sisters of the brothers of the sisters of the boys in Darche. I'm just throwing out names, right?
Right.
And then you see Yitzchak, their sisters are going to that school. It's 10 schools. It's 15 schools. So if there's, let's say, 15,000 kids in all, which there aren't, because I don't know if Yeshiva Ketana has 1,000 kids. I don't know if Sir Yitzchak has 1,000 kids. Darche has more than 1,000 kids. I don't know if South Shore has 1,000 kids. So I'm going with big numbers. So you have 15,000. So that's, let's say, half are families.
Interesting.
That's 7,000 families. If every family has 2 kids.
More from Jews in Lakewood than Nassau County?
Much more. Think about it. There's only 15,000 kids in the school system here.
How many do you have?
In Lakewood, it's 60,000, 60. There's 160 yeshivas in Lakewood.
160 yeshivas?
Just elementary schools and high schools.
How about Beis Yaakov?
I'm coming.
Including.
Yeah, K to 12, elementary and high schools, boys schools and
this
schools.
Is all within the last 30 years?
Yeah, 15 years. Yeah,
See,
it's wild.
So I'm excited.
Every year another elementary school, at least 1 or 2 elementary schools open up every single year. Every year another Masifta opens up, at least 1 or 2 Masiftas open up. Every 2 years another girls'
Where's
high
the
school
money
opens
coming
up.
from to fund these places?
Parents work hard, tuition. But our cost is much less.
This is for you. You good.
I took it already from the
Are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, PZ Deals.
Thank you, PZ Deals, for making it happen.
Never pay full price again.
What do they do by the PZ Deals?
You get good deals. It's like an app.
Oh, like an app deals.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Get deals in tuition.
On anything, deals in tuition.
No.
Not yet.
That they haven't done yet. If they were able to do that, they'd be the most popular app out there.
Yeah.
Get on that, guys. But I'm excited to talk to you because,
But when do we start, by the way? Did we start already?
We started. We're rolling.
Oh, this is rolling.
Everything's rolling.
I better be careful then.
When we spoke on the phone, you said, you know what? It's about time you're having someone on who's part of the establishment.
I don't know if I said that as those exact words, but
did I misquote you? I'm not known to misquote people.
I was excited that we're having someone from the establishment come on the show.
So you're part of the establishment. What do you
100%.
consider the establishment?
We all know what the establishment is. There's an establishment. The establishment is the leadership, let's call it, of a community, which starts at the top with the rabbinic leadership. And then there's, some people call them the old timers, which I'm a young guy. It's not from the old timers. But there is an establishment concept. And I think that there's the ones that are anti-establishment get a lot of noise and a lot of attention. And very rarely do you have the other side.
Have I had anti-establishment people on my show?
Not I'm sure you have.
You want to name?
I'm sure you no. I'm sure you have.
Okay, so
but there's also this anti-establishment, and then there's not establishment.
Right.
So there's like three groups. There's the establishment,
and you don't believe that they properly represent what's actually going on.
They represent their viewpoint very well, but there's more to it than just that one viewpoint.
Right.
There's always two sides to the coin.
Right.
Like you say, right? There's your story, there's my story, and then there's the truth.
So you want to tell the truth today?
Well, but they're saying the truth. It's not about the truth. It's just that there's a very big community. We are a very large community. We're just going through these numbers, right? So you're talking
about Lakewood.
But anywhere, even in the 5 towns. I'm sure they have the same challenge also, right? Any community that's big has a challenge. Where there's an establishment that built it, that was there from day one, that built it, that has been leading it.
Yeah.
And then there's, we could call it newcomers or younger people or people that are even older that were never part of that group. And they've always felt either not part of the conversation, not given a proper voice. They feel that the establishment hasn't done a good job. And now it's time to change things, which there's always there's a viewpoint to that.
Mm-hmm.
We can never rest on our laurels. You always want to hear other views and see how we can become better. So there's the establishment, there's the anti-establishment, and then there's the non-establishment.
Right.
So they just do their own thing. Not anti. Everyone's beautiful. Everyone's great. Just this is my path.
Right.
So there's not, those are the three groups of
people
that are out there.
Let's talk about Lakewood for a bit.
For a minute.
I happen to really not be in Lakewood a lot. I'm there maybe a couple times a year. I've never spent the Shabbos there in my life. I've never stepped foot into BMG. I've never been invited to BMG. I don't have a lot to do there. And it's interesting because after going over some data with my stats of my platform, majority of the people I find of my listeners
are in Lakewood.
Are like Lakewood based. And like, especially I have a paid platform, Meaning Fun Plus, our subscribers, vast majority are Lakewood. So it's like,
that's actually surprising.
It is surprising. It is surprising because a lot of people are going to throw out of yeshivas now because they signed that shtar.
No one gets thrown out of yeshivas like
that. But listen, 24/6 could be around. That could be around, right?
You're on 24/6, no?
I am. So some episodes. Let's see if this one makes it.
So there you go.
Yeah. But so I'm very excited to speak to you. Obviously, there's a new role you have with Agudah, which we're going to talk about. But Lakewood recently.
How could you have never been in? I mean, how could you never saw BMG?
Maybe I was outside.
You never had a curiosity, just like go inside and just check out what it actually looks like. Really?
I've been in Lakewood.
You can just walk inside. By the way, you don't have to have like a formal invitation.
Oh, well, unfortunately we've seen that anyone can walk inside.
Even a guy with a backpack with YouTube can walk inside.
No, I've never been inside. I've never like Lakewood in the scheme of my life. I'm 31. Lakewood's it's like a new thing. It's like wow. It's like last 10 years it became like. No? Am I wrong?
It definitely has exploded in the last 10, 15 years for sure.
Right. So no, I don't have a lot with it. I do visit a few people there and I go, whatever, but I go to these office buildings. It's like unbelievable. But let's talk Lakewood. They recently were the target of some pretty serious smear campaigns, attacks from non-Jews in the public. Mm-hmm. And there were also some Jews that felt, like some of these taxes could be valid. Some people could say, listen, you're taking hostile takeovers of communities. Now, I personally don't believe that, right? I live in a community myself, which is we pioneered and we're pushing the boundary. We're going to a new part and we're just trying to live life. But the public sees what happened in Lakewood as a very scary thing. Talk to me about, from your perspective, the last decade or so, Lakewood, what's been happening?
So I happen to have a very, let's use the word strong opinion about it.
Okay. I like strong opinions.
Because number one is I actually sued the township of Jackson. We were in court. Not me, me by myself personally, but Agudah Yisrael filed a lawsuit against Jackson 7 years ago. And we ultimately won.
What was the
Because the
lawsuit?
lawsuit was that they were not allowing shuls, eruvs, mikvahs to be built in Jackson. And today, well, not today, but over the last probably 10, 15, even 20 years. So today, it's not popular to be outwardly anti-Semitic. Like there used to be big signs, like in the hotels actually in Lakewood. There were hotels that were built by Jews in Lakewood in like the 1930s and 40s because the other hotels had signs, no Jews allowed. These are real historical facts. Like there's a Lakewood museum you can see all this stuff in. And the hotels wouldn't allow Jews to come. No Jews allowed. So Jews built other hotels. And those hotels today eventually ended up being sold to the yeshiva. So now those hotels are actually yeshivas.
Oh, man.
But that's the irony of it all. But you can't put up a sign, no Jews allowed anymore today. I mean, you could, but it won't work well for you.
Right.
So what has happened? Townships that don't want Jews to move in, they change the zoning laws. And they know that an Orthodox Jewish community needs a shul. We are going to need yeshivas. We're going to need a mikveh. We're going to need an eruv. So if you don't allow those things to happen, Jews won't move in. And it's a very good strategy. Meaning at the beginning of Jackson's growth, it was hard for people to move there. I know people that moved there that moved back to Lakewood because there wasn't a regular shul. They had a shul in Lakewood and they just didn't feel as if it was accommodating their religious needs.
The local zoning,
successful.
The local zoning laws in Jackson were making it harder for them to grow.
Correct.
So 7 years ago, you said
this is against the law,
and you were working in the capacity of being a representative for the Agudah in New Jersey.
Agudah, correct. Yes.
And you're like, we're going to sue Jackson.
Correct.
This is crazy. This is
yep.
You're limiting our religious freedom.
Correct. Now we didn't just jump into a lawsuit. We definitely went through all the diplomatic channels first.
Right.
We did letter writing campaigns. We spoke up at town halls. We had meetings with the mayor and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, nothing happened.
Was this the first contentious thing to happen in the region, or was there already heads butting in Lakewood?
So in New Jersey, there's been contentious stuff for decades. Like Tenafly, of all places, had a major lawsuit about an eruv. That was like the first big religious, Jewish religious rights lawsuit in New Jersey. It was the Tenafly eruv years back. In Clifton, there was a lawsuit that Mr. Dovey Gross was fighting for years. That predates the Jackson one. So there were several lawsuits in New Jersey over the years, because again, it's a very smart tactic. You don't allow shuls to be built, Jews can't move in. It solves the problem. And then you go to court. And when a township is sued, no one pays the bill. It's the township. So they'll just spend the money. And even if they spend $5 million, how much does it cost the actual taxpayer? A couple of bucks. So
and to them, they're fighting. They're keeping the way of their town.
Quality of life and the community and the culture, all that kind of stuff. They're preserving their way of life. So they're happy to pay the $18 it costs the individual for the lawsuit, because no one's paying out of pocket. Right. It comes out of and many of these townships have insurance, which the insurance covers. So you're really paying. It's a minimal dent for the township when they get sued. It's like an anti-Semitism tax that people are paying. It's right, exactly. Pay $20 to keep the Jews out. Right, and they're happy to, and they're more than happy to do it. They're more than happy to do it. But the individual suing, that's real money. Like so they can go head to head. Are you allowed to say how much the Agudah spent suing Jackson? Well, we got it back when you win the lawsuit. You got it all back, but it was millions of dollars. Really? That had to be laid out. So now Agudah doesn't have that. We had people that were funding the lawsuit for us because they felt the importance, and ultimately we won, and the lawyers got paid back. We practically didn't get any damages out of it. We weren't in it to make any money, but what had to happen happened. But this became the new tactic. So Jackson did it, and then Tom's River did it, and now Manchester's doing it with their mikvah, and every town knows this is the way to do it. So are there just a lot of are there a bunch of lawsuits being filed, or are they not going that route? And they're just so depends. Some towns are smart about it because they see what happened in other towns. They realize that they're just going to lose. So what's the point? Other towns don't care. Right. So, but put yourself, and again, like as a podcaster, this is kind of what I have to do sometimes. Is like, let's put yourself in their shoes.
They live very happy, comfortably, and all of a sudden, their way of life changes completely. There's cars parked on both sides of their street now. There's bikes left on the sidewalks, and everything changes. Do you hear where they're coming from?
I do and I don't. Because I think that there's a lot of it that is fluffed much more than reality. We are very good neighbors. We are very safe.
We are.
We're relatively quiet. We don't bother our neighbors at all, pretty much. We don't throw house parties. We have sukkahs with a hut outside where we sing zmiras. Like, that's really much as far as the cultural, Orthodox life's going to make noise. We're not a noisy bunch. We have a lot of kids, Baruch Hashem, and that's beautiful. If someone doesn't like children, then they're going to have a hard time with us. If someone doesn't like religious people, they're going to have a hard time with us. Cars parked on both sides of the road is not necessarily so accurate. And you know something? We've worked that out. The most communities just say, don't park your cars here overnight. And that's really all it is. And if that's what a Jewish community brings, so you get safety, you get good, wholesome families, but they're going to park their car on the street overnight once a week on Friday night. I would go any day with a safe, wholesome neighbor that's not throwing house parties, that's not having violence, that's not bringing crime, that's clean, raising a beautiful family. I'll take that any day over a car parked outside. Why does the car bother you so much? Because it represents the guy going to pray in a synagogue. That means there's a synagogue here. If there's a synagogue, it means more Jews are coming in. I don't want Jews coming to my neighborhood. If someone can tell me a reason why they don't want Jews coming in, what's so bad about the Jews? Overdevelopment? That's not true. That's not true. We live everywhere, by the way.
Is Lakewood not overdeveloped?
That's one town. And Lakewood, by the way, is the biggest proof of we want the development. We're the majority of the town. And people are still moving into Lakewood. So if Lakewood was so bad, why is everyone moving here? I ask people, Lakewood is terrible, the traffic, so why did you move here? By the way, this is a real thing, by the way. If you look at the most vocal anti-development people, almost not all of them, but almost all of them were not from Lakewood. They moved to Lakewood. When they got older and they need to buy a house, they couldn't afford a house in Brooklyn, so they moved to Lakewood. And then they complain about the traffic. You moved here. You could have stayed in Flatbush. You wanted to live here knowing the traffic.
Is it other Jews complaining about the development or it's non-Jews?
It's both.
It's both.
Everyone can complain about traffic.
Right.
But
there's traffic everywhere.
The most vocal anti-development people, majority, not all, are the ones that moved from other places.
Like you should have moved. Yeah.
I'm not going to go through examples, but there are people that I know about that moved into some of the developments in Lakewood that are like on the 9, which could be one of 24 developments on Route 9. And they complain about the development on Route 9 that's causing traffic. You only have a house because of that development. You moved here. You're the guy that made the traffic because you needed a house. So when you needed a house, it's great.
You benefited from the overdevelopment.
Exactly. But now that you have your house, Yenim can't have his house.
It's like, after me, let's close
exactly.
the door.
So most of the complainers fit in that category. I had a guy that lived in my neighborhood. Lived near me. He actually moved away, not that far, moved a couple blocks away. He still is the biggest complainer. He lived in Flatbush. He got married. He stayed in Flatbush. He lived in an apartment in Ocean Parkway and needed to buy a house. He was maxed out of Flatbush. He didn't want to move to a small house in Marine Park. He wanted a house with a driveway and all that stuff. So he moved to where? To Lakewood. This guy is the biggest complainer about any development. I said, I understand. You moved here. You could have stayed in Flatbush. Why are you coming for? I couldn't. Because you couldn't afford a house. How do you think we make those houses affordable?
By overpacking.
By building houses. If we're not getting supply and demand, why is Flatbush so expensive? Because there's no development in Flatbush anymore, really, right? And whoever's developing is developing apartment buildings, not houses. So you came here because this is where the development is. This allowed you to have your house. Now that you have your house, someone else can't get a house. So it's a little bit of a hypocrisy.
Yeah.
So that's what, now if a guy moves to Jackson or to Manchester, and there they start to overdevelop, and the town doesn't want it, like I've told everyone, that's your fault. Because you're allowing that to happen. Vote the guys out. If you feel that Jackson's being developed, will be on us. It has not been overdeveloped, by the way, yet. And for those that live there that don't want it to be, it shouldn't be. But Lakewood, yeah, it had to develop. That's how people moved here. And people continue to move here. Why? Because it's obviously a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course there's traffic. That's a sign of the success. Do I like it? Of course not. Do we have to widen the 9? Of course we have to. Do we have to do better? Of course we do. No one's saying it's not a problem, but understand that the problem came because of our success.
We'll be right back to this episode. A quick word from my friends at Nest Vacation Homes. Yes, Pesach is behind us, but there's a lot more in front of us. Maybe you want to go and rent a house in Eden Gardens. And the only people to do that with right now is Nest Vacation Homes. The best service, the best deals. Right now, head to their website, nestvacationhomes.com. Don't sleep on it. Many people missed out on the opportunity to get a place for Pesach. But guess what? Other Yom Tovim are coming up. Shabbosim are coming up. It's a beautiful time to check out Orlando. So go ahead. Nest Vacation Homes. Shavuos maybe? How about that? How about sometime a little bit later? Maybe you want to already book for Sukkot. Are we crazy that we're talking that far in advance? We're not. We're just prepared. Well, be prepared to get the best deal possible right now at nestvacationhomes.com. That is nestvacationhomes.com. Hit the link in the show notes below. Another thing that you don't want to sleep on is your appliances, because before you know it, they may be kicking. Or you may be doing a new construction and appliance is a big part of the home. Head to townappliance.com right now. That is Town Appliance. Ever since 1979, they've been servicing our community. And everywhere I go, people tell me, hey, Town Appliance. I'm like, yes, Town Appliance. They are the go-to place. So maybe you need some new outdoor stuff, indoor stuff, whatever it may be. Town Appliance has you covered. I myself needed a new oven a few weeks before Pesach. And it was pretty hectic. My oven just stopped working. It came with the house that I bought. And what do? It was Friday, and I called Town Appliance, and you won't believe how quick things got done. So if you find yourself in that situation, make sure to call Town Appliance right now. Get taken care of. Hit the link in the show notes below. Now back to this episode.
Let me ask you a question. Did you watch the Tyler Oliveira video?
Not all of it, but a big chunk of it.
What do you think?
I thought he did us the biggest favor because he couldn't contain his hate. He was seething with hate. He couldn't even hide it because it was so one-tracked. It was so, like, you're gonna hate on Hatzalah? Like, really? A volunteer first aid responders? These are bad people? Wait, once you go certain places, you lose your validity. And there was no real conversations. He didn't engage anyone in the community. Well, no one wanted to talk to him, obviously, and I'm happy that no one really talked to him because we knew that he wasn't going to be legitimate about his interview. So he cut and edited it only for his narrative. But it wasn't, it was all negative. He ignored 90% of what's really going on in the community. And the 2-3 things that he talked about regarding Hatzalah and Shomrim are positive, beautiful things that every community wishes they could have. Communities across the country have civilian watches. That's a good thing. You want to have a civilian watch. So why is our civilian watch different than any other community's civilian watch? They have it everywhere. We just do a good job. And we're big, and we have a waiting list of people chalishing to get onto these programs. Hatzalah has a list. You know what kind of politics it is to become a Hatzalah volunteer? It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
We have people begging to become Hatzalah volunteers. Where does this exist anywhere? And to trash it, you lose you're basically advertising that you have an agenda and you don't really care about the truth. So it was so blatant that I don't think it really had much of an impact on anyone that was like, I'm not sure about the Jews. Let me see. He was so clearly anti-Semitic. And whoever he interviewed from other communities was so clearly anti-Semitic. And so it was so far from the truth that it was what it was.
Yeah. I mean, one thing he did interview a couple of people about and they weren't happy about was hostile takeovers, right?
What does that mean, a hostile takeover? What's hostile about buying a house on the market?
For over asking price.
Exactly.
Right.
What's hostile? I'm literally giving you money to buy your house. Your house is for sale. What is hostile about that?
I think the hostile part they feel is, when we, get onto the school boards and we get onto the zoning committees and we change laws to make it work for our infrastructure.
So we first of all, if we get on the zoning committees because we were voted on the zoning committee, that's called democracy. That's how the American system.
But would you
is
consider
made.
like packing the court the same way? I mean,
we're not packing the court. We're voting about people. If we won the vote, then we're the majority. That's how it goes. Why did someone else win? Because they're the majority. What's the hostile takeover? That's called democracy. Anyone can vote. And if the people that don't want us to win, if they are the majority and they didn't come to vote, obviously it's not important enough to them. So if there's a board of elections, if there's a board of education election, and we win a seat, that means the majority of the voters wanted that person to win a seat. What's the hostile takeover? That is the democratic way of doing things. We didn't overthrow a regime. We have elections like every other community in the country has fair elections. And if we win, that's indicative of what the community wants.
Right. How come you or any other establishment leader, how come you guys didn't sit down with him and talk? How come you didn't defend these lies that he was telling? This is an opportunity. The video was 5 million views. Like, for me, I watched this. I'm like, why isn't someone who knows the truth, who can speak for us, instead of us getting just like
the
railroaded?
answer is there's nothing we would have told him that would have been helpful. He's not a trustworthy person. So if I'm having a conversation with you, we're going to talk for as long as we talk for, right? Not that you'll put whatever you put up there, but I know there's no agenda to make me look bad. You're looking to have good radio. By him, there was an agenda to make the Jews look bad. When you title a video, the Jewish invasion of Kiryas Yael, what's an invasion? An invasion is when an army goes to war with another country and we invade a country. What is the invasion of Kiryas Yael? It didn't exist. It was a village. We built it all within the zoning laws, all within the laws of the state of New York, and we moved there and we had children. What's the invasion? We have guns. We went to war. When you use that word, the Jewish invasion. So if it was Christians moving in, that's okay. Jews can't move into a town. When that's your title of a video, you're coming to prove your point, that there's a Jewish invasion. So I actually looked at his history of his other videos. He's not a trustworthy person. He fabricates the reality. And to get in front of him and without knowing what he's going to ask and without having any real trustworthy dialogue, only harm can come from it. And we saw that some people attempted to talk to him. And it did not end well.
And it was the wrong people.
And they tried to do rebuttals and you're playing catch up. So no matter what we would have told him, he wouldn't have put on the good stuff. He wouldn't have. So he would have sat there for an hour, which other people did, and talked to him. And he maybe would have taken 30 seconds of what we said that could be construed as a negative thing. That's all it is. So there's no point of it.
I did like a live call-in show, and somebody called up, someone anonymous, I believe, and they said, instead of us he's like, why are we giving people ammo to make videos like this against us? So my question to you is, on here right now, and I don't know the answer to this, is there a criticism that you do have to the community in Lakewood? Now, there's everything, like literally amazing organizations and people, and as a whole, you want to go toe to toe with anybody else. We're really unbelievable. We're amazing neighbors. But is there a criticism that you do have? Is there we need to be better in business? We can't cut corners. We can't do this. We can't do that because we're the Jewish people, because all the eyes are on us, that you'd be willing to say?
There's always things we have to improve on. There's no question. We're not perfect. We never were perfect. No one claims that we're perfect. But I wrote an article. I was interviewed in The Voice of Lakewood after this video came out, like my thoughts and this and that. How should Yidden fight anti-Semitism, which is also a whole nother conversation. That some people believe that we're going to end anti-Semitism somehow after 3,000 years. But, okay.
Let's go back to Esav and figure it out.
We're gonna end it once and for all. Okay, but
listen, CBN needs something to talk about. So
who? Who's that?
BNC? I don't know.
CNN?
CNN. Yeah. Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah. So if we there's always things we can improve on. And I said that, and I said, I'm not going to tell you the hashkafic viewpoint of fighting at. That's not my place. I'm not a Rav. I'm not that's a hashkafic question that a gadol has given us, and that's where the hadracha from there goes. But we do realize that just like he's with his video cameras driving around Lakewood, we have to be cognizant that Lakewood is not a ghetto. And there are people that drive through Lakewood that are not from our community. And all they know about our community is either his video or what other Facebook pages write or what other news outlets in the area write about. That's all they know. So when we're cutting somebody off, or we're honking behind the guy by the red light because we're in a big rush to go wherever we're going, just realize, think the guy in front of you may not be a Jewish guy. And all he'll be thinking is, what's with these Jewish people?
Right.
But we just have to be very cognizant that unfortunately, because we live in a community that we're just surrounded by from people, we forget that there are people that are here that are not from Lakewood, that drive through Lakewood because they either have doctor's appointments. There's a lot of businesses in Lakewood. People are coming for business meetings, whatever. There could be 1,000 reasons why someone not from Lakewood, they're going to the Blue Claws to watch a ball game. And we have to just recognize that we don't live in a ghetto.
Yeah.
It may seem like that, but we don't. And that is something we forget about. Naturally, we just forget about that.
Right.
So if there's, we have to emphasize that a little bit better.
I want to read some of the top comments. I obviously don't know what it's gonna say, but I feel like here I exposed New Jersey's Jewish invasion, 8.5 million views. Okay, yikes! That's all I can say. That's a lot. What's the top comment? It has 110,000 comments.
Wow. It's not bad.
Now the top comments are anti-Semitic,
of course.
And not only are they anti-Semitic and they're just one person's comment, but the top one has 30,000 likes. The next one has 80,000 likes. I don't know. I'm going to read one of them. I just want to make sure it's not.
Yeah, you got to watch out on those comments. Probably they're not, for your friendly.
This is actually a funny one. They
family-friendly audience.
They don't have TVs in their house, no YouTube or social media, but every one of them know about Tyler and his videos.
What does that even mean?
They said they're lying on the yeshiva thing about whether they have internet or not. That's what this person's saying.
Oh, they caught us. Like the Manal caught they caught us.
Yeah.
Throw her out of school.
The other one here says, someone said, "You're not welcome here," to him. It's a crazy thing to say to somebody, especially someone who is new to this country. I guess thinking Jews are new to this country. It's a lot of comments.
Sure, a lot of hate.
Public money should not go to private schools. That sounds illegal.
Right. Well, it's legal, so that's fine. That's a great example, like the whole public school and private school thing, right?
Yeah.
When people say,
but what's that? The private schools in Lakewood get money from the government?
Everyone. So the private schools in New York is 3 times the amount of the private schools in New Jersey get, by the way.
Really?
The dollar for dollar, how much money goes to a kid in a private school in New York is 3 times the amount that a private school child in New Jersey gets. Dollar for dollar. Because in New York, there's mandated services. Thank God, Agudah Yisrael.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
You got to get that plug in there, huh?
No, it's a good transition. One thing
is that I think that we always forget to say this, and that is like when he did come around, what I was hoping that someone would have told him, of all the guys that did talk to him, that even though we were hoping people wouldn't talk to him, but people couldn't control it, which I get that. It's people were burning, where their blood was boiling, and they wanted to say a couple of comments. This idea that your tax money is paying for me is the most ludicrous thing in the world. No, I pay taxes. Where's my tax money going?
Right, it's going to your kid.
I'm paying. The only one that can actually say that my taxes is paying for your kid are yeshiva parents, because we pay property taxes, a boatload of property taxes, and our kids don't go to the school system. So where's the money going?
The busing, they'll say.
The busing is a fraction. It goes to busing, goes to a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but out of the $12,000 that you're paying in property tax that goes to the school system, you're getting back maybe $3,000. You're getting back maybe $4,000. Where's the other $8,000 going?
And the other people who live there who are paying those taxes, that's how they're getting free schooling.
Exactly.
And we don't get that.
I'm literally paying for someone else's kid. So the only ones that can actually claim that my taxes go to you is us. And now if you look at Lakewood.
Maybe we should make a video.
Yeah, watch my taxes pay for your kids. And even if you go further than that, Lakewood, for example, what he didn't talk about is, which you saw, he didn't talk about the businesses, the corporate park, the industrial park, all that stuff. Those are massive revenue streams
for the town,
the state. So when you ask the state's paying, the state covers, Medicare and Medicaid and food stamps. Yeah, it's funded by taxpayers from where? Not property tax, from income tax, from corporate tax. Where are those corporations? Where are those incomes? Where are the people working? So yeah, you have a corporate product that has thousands of employees.
Yeah.
All those employees are paying income tax. That's from Lakewood. Did anyone ever think of how much money Lakewood is generating to the state?
Just LBA alone. Like, just think of LBA,
Yeah.
like just one
little entity.
Just one little entity. 10,000 kids.
There you go.
Yeah.
So if you just look at the amount of, there are businesses that have hundreds of employees, and that's just income tax, then there's corporate tax.
Right.
And then you have the manufacturers. You have Blinds to Go, one of the largest manufacturers. Where are they located? In Lakewood Corporate Park. You have ammunition companies that are building ammunition for the United States government, located in Industrial Park. Like, you have insane factories, furniture factories, go on and on. They're all paying corporate tax. So the amount of money we're giving to the state, we are a net positive to the state. So no, our tax are actually paying for people in other towns that don't have these revenue makers, and we're covering them. So no one else's taxes are paying for us. If anything, the reality is we're covering other people's expenses.
Interesting.
But he'll never talk about that.
Yeah, of course not. Obviously, you live in Lakewood and you've been a Lakewood Oscan for a long time, but you're really moving outside of Lakewood, not physically, but in terms of your impact with now being the COO of Agudah. Now, the Agudah Yisrael. I personally don't know a lot of what the Agudah does on a practical level. I probably would say that a lot of people fall into that category. I remember Pirche, but that doesn't exist anymore. Agudah Convention, and that also, after 100 years, no more Agudah Convention.
No.
You had a summit.
We had a summit. Our Agudah Convention is not gone. We took a year break.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
To reassess how to make it exactly what you're talking about, make it more relevant, and make it what it was.
Well, maybe you need to get younger.
That's part of it.
Is that why you're the COO?
I hope not. I hope it wasn't based only off of age.
Yeah, no, I got you. But for people who are part of Klal Yisrael and they think of the Agudah and they can't really put their finger on one thing that defines them, what is the Agudah? What does the Agudah do? That
is our biggest challenge, by the way. That is our biggest challenge. Agudah Yisrael started, and I'm going to sound like them. And everyone's going to roll their eyes. Oh, he drank the Kool-Aid. He's doing this again.
Did you drink the Kool-Aid?
Of course I drank the Kool-Aid.
Okay.
In Katovich in 1920, and we're going to go through the whole thing. Good. But the reality is, the Agudah wasn't started as a service organization. And that's the challenge. For example, I use an easy example. Temche Shabbos, any Temche Shabbos. There's a very defined role. They're here to buy food for families that can't afford it. It's a very defined service. Chazdei Leiv. Unbelievable. It's a very defined service. Chaya Lifeline, RCCS. Every organization it's a service organization. There's a need, there's a service. Even in our good organizations, PCS, Yahalom, Sahav, they're all defined service organizations. Agudah Yisrael is not a service organization. Never wasn't founded. It was an ideology. It was a movement. It was a movement in the 1930s when there was that need, and then in the 1940s and 50s it evolved into the need of Hatzalah and rescue. And then in the 60s and the 70s, it was about rebuilding. And then there was Iranian Jews coming, and then there was those Jews coming. It constantly evolves. It's not a service organism. When you do that, you run into a big problem. So then define yourself. What are you actually?
This episode is sponsored by Sofer.ai. Sofer.ai is the best AI platform to unlock more Torah for you. It is designed to harness the power of AI with the sensitivity that dealing with Torah demands. What are some of the features you're asking? Well, it can transcribe audio from your shirim and give it to you in clear, eligible text. It can generate outlines, summaries, and notes from each transcript that you give it. Organize, categorize, and even print your Torah so it never gets lost and it's there whenever you need it. Sofer.ai is really, really helpful. Maybe you have some Torah ideas. Maybe you have some shirim that you want to transcribe, that you want to be able to read over, that you want to summarize, that you want to work with. Sofer.ai is there for you. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to head to www.sofer.ai. That is Sofer, SOFER.ai. I use it. I know the OU use it. Aish uses it. So many people are using Sofer.ai. Check it out today and just keep learning.
I think back to Agudah in the 40s and the 50s, and that's Mike Tress and
Correct.
And what he
Correct.
did is that was like, wow, they
Right.
saved Jewish
Exactly.
lives.
It was a very defined item.
So what's Agudah been doing the last
So
decade?
the last 30 years. So the
Yeah.
problem is, the challenge is advocacy and government work is the hardest thing to sell.
It's underground.
It's underground. It's in some place called Albany or Trenton or Washington DC that most people have never really been to understand what it is. And the whole concept of advocacy is a very foreign concept. So, for example, we are on the cusp of the largest, biggest legislative change in probably the history of Jews in America. In the last, I wouldn't say history, but probably the last 50 years. And that is the new scholarship program. This could totally, and Metz Hashem, it will change.
Did you spearhead that?
I did not, but Agudah Soul absolutely did. Yeah, we were laughed at for years.
What is that? Explain it.
How it works?
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough one. Not
What?
tough. It'll just take a little time. It's not, I can
Give it to
shoot out.
me, talk like the 2-second elevator pitch.
Bottom line, people can donate to a fund up to $1,700. They get a tax credit, not deduction. It means dollar for dollar. It's free money.
Okay.
The fund now collects all those donations from everybody. Everybody. It will now generate millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. Eligible people can now apply to get scholarships. How big are the scholarships? As much money is in the fund. If there's 10 million and 1,000 eligible kids, it's $10,000. I mean, the givers are not necessarily the receivers.
Is it like an endowment? It's
No, it's a scholarship fund. That's what it is.
and it's being
It's
funded by people,
By
and
the
they're getting
federal government.
and they're getting matched. Oh, people are
They're
getting,
getting
matched.
matched. It's dollar for dollar credit.
And this is national.
This is national, all 50 states. The only thing is that a governor has to opt in.
Oh,
We're pretty confident that most governors are going to end up opting in. May not opt in the first year. But when they see how other states are doing it and how it can affect, and public schools can tap into it also. It's for everybody.
why do public schools? Public schools.
No, for after school programs, for
Okay.
books, for tutoring.
And this
all
is
that
not just
stuff.
for yeshivas. It's also for Christian
any-
schools, prep
any
schools.
education scholarships.
That's a big deal.
It's huge. And there's no cap. So the more you raise, the more you can give out.
You're saying that. I mean, and what needs? How could someone qualify for a scholarship? What do they need?
As long as you're below a certain income eligibility, which is a very high income eligibility, by the way. This is like the only program like the middle class will actually get.
What is
It's
that?
300% of the local median income, which means a place like the Five Towns is north of $400,000 a year.
The local median income of the 5 towns
It's 300%. It's
so.
three
What is
times.
the
So in the 5 towns, I think it's like 130,000, 150,000, whatever it
very
is.
high?
It's very high. So it means that you can be a family making north.
If you're making $400,000,
You're eligible for the full scholarship.
wow.
So if we're giving out $5,000 scholarships and you're eligible, and obviously if there's money in the bank. Right?
So it's going to be split up based on how many people are applying.
There's a lot of, so now, correct.
That's how the pie gets split.
Correct. Now some places may say, no, there's a big like machlokes. Now I'm going to get very lumpish in this.
No, I hear where you're going.
Is it kamas or echos? Do you rather give every single kid a scholarship
Or more to the people who need
or
it.
more to people that need it?
I would say more people need it.
Or more to people that need it, or do you say, or more to the needier people that need it? For example, let's say I am a parent in Darchei Torah, just throwing the name out there, right? And I have 2 kids in Darchei Torah and I'm making $400,000 a year. Someone else has 5 kids in Darchei Torah and he's making $200,000 a year. We should both get the same $5,000 scholarship? I will say, yes, I finally have my chance to get money over here. Others may say, but that poor guy that's got 5 kids, $150,000, he can't put food on his table. So these are all variables and what local
It's like
organizations are going to figure out.
people could ruin it's like ruining the fun for the rest of the class by not being honest. It's an honor program basically.
Oh, well, no, we know how much money you're making.
I
It's
know
all-
you'll be able to show, but does someone who have 2 kids really?
Does he need it?
He doesn't.
So that's
If someone's making $400,000, they don't.
We're not
need-
going to be policing that, but there are going to be rules in what's called an SGO, Scholarship Granting Organization.
How far is this from actually?
No, it's happening. It's the law of the land.
I know, but like
2027.
serious.
It's really happening. This is really happening.
Like I'm excited.
In a year from now, not this coming year, but the year afterwards, because it only goes into effect 2027, which means donations can only come in 2027.
One second, Avi. I'm gonna be real with you right now, because this happens to me sometimes. I'm on a podcast. Someone tells me something very exciting. I get very wide-eyed. I'm like, this is amazing. Then after it comes out, I have people clipping it and telling me this guy fell for this. You
Yeah.
don't know X, Y, and Z. What's the catch?
There really is no catch. I'm being honest with you. The only way how this will not be successful is if people don't trust it, meaning if donors don't donate.
Well, I'm getting the money back.
Exactly.
How am I getting the money back?
A tax credit. On your tax
it's going towards my taxes.
Correct.
So I get a tax. I'm getting. Meaning,
correct. If you owe $5,000 in taxes,
I can give max only $1,700.
Yeah.
So you need a lot of people.
You need a lot. Exactly. That's the work is that everyone's got to donate. But think about it.
If everyone donates, what do you mean the money's going to
this fund?
It's going to the
SGO.
fund.
It's called, and then the organization will now distribute scholarships. Oh, that's an independent organization. Who will open up SGOs? There'll be a whole bunch of them. But we're working on that. We're gonna have one. Others are gonna have one.
Each town needs one.
You can
Why
do,
can't it
you
be
can
one
do a whole
massive
state.
SGO?
You can do a whole national. There's a lot of discussions going on. That's like
With who?
behind the scenes.
Who's discussing it?
With every group in Klal Yisrael. Literally, every group in Klal Yisrael.
And this is a Agudah project.
We were the only ones fighting for this in the Frum community. I'm not the only one. We had partners in the American Federation for Children and other non-Jewish organizations, and the Jewish community advocacy groups. We were laughed at.
Who put this on the table?
This has been a project for over a decade. They've been working on this.
Who?
Guy A.D. Motzen, with the guy John Schilling, with the guy Peter Murphy. I'll tell you a story. True story. We did our yearly, Agudah mission to Washington. Everyone makes fun of all the old suits going.
Who makes fun of it?
Yeah. So we're going on one of those missions. We had at night, so we had to fill up the time to have, that by day we're meeting people. But at night, it can be a little bit dull because who you going to? The offices are closed.
Yeah. So
every year we find different people to come and speak to the group. One year we had this group come from American Federation for Children. It was a guy, Peter Murphy, and a guy, John Schilling. And they spoke about this idea. They were laughed at. Not one person took them seriously. And not only that, but some of the board members that were like, this is really what we're spending our time with in Washington. This is a pipe dream. This is never going to happen. And this was during the Biden administration. Like, there's no way that the Biden administration is ever going to support this. And they said, we know that, but we're doing the groundwork now. So that whenever there's going to be a Republican administration, we're ready. And we sent out A.D. Motzen had a list of every single senator, every single congressman in the Republican Party, because those were the targets. And we had about 80% of the entire Republican caucus as sponsors and co-sponsors of this bill. So when the Trump administration came in, he was on a silver platter. So for 10 years, we worked on this, laughed at and ridiculed. And even when the Trump administration came into power, and people were like, oh, wow, this could actually happen. And then there was a reconciliation bill. I'm like, okay, great, we can get this into the reconciliation where you don't need to have 61 votes in the Senate. All you need is 51. If this is part of reconciliation, this could really happen. And there were I spoke to people that were very active politically in Washington and other organizations. They said, this is never going to happen. We've been here before. We did this. You're wasting your time. I'm not helping with any resources. And we told us, listen, I hear you. You're right. Other things happened in the past. They don't work out. There was the parliamentarians who take it out. It's never going to survive. It's called a bird, but whatever it is, all the different terms. It's never going to survive. I said, if it does survive, can we come back to you? I guess if it survives, you come back to me. Of course, when it survived, we came back to them. They no longer answered our phone call. But that's a different conversation. But we were laughed at.
Maybe now that's it.
Yeah, maybe now. We were totally laughed at. When they were tired, is that it was about that we thought it was actually dead. People were celebrating the death of this because we told you all along it's never going to happen. You see, we were right. And that's not how, and Hashem had a different plan. And it survived, and it's here. And this is, in a year and a half, the tension you're going to be seeing. Year one, tens of millions of dollars.
Why in a year and a half? Why not now?
Because it only starts in January to start to give the donations. So you can't start to raise the money to January 27.
Then you have to wait another year in order to...
You don't have to wait. But there's not going to money to get the scholarships yet. You have to generate the funds. And then by that September of 27, you can start giving out scholarships already. It's wild.
Can you search what's the median? It's the median income, 300%
local median income.
What's the local median income of Lakewood? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Lakewood, I think about 100 it's like 90,000. I think it is.
Really? Yeah. So much?
Yeah, so at the middle class, we'll
this is finally something for the middle class.
Finally.
Okay, so That's something.
It's not poverty level, not school lunch, not reduced lunch. This is a different thing completely. This is local meeting income. It's a very different.
That's really exciting.
It's a hard guys. Go to Ocean County.
ChatGPT is different about Lakewood.
How much is Lakewood?
It's between 56K and 63.
That's a little. That's Lakewood, Ocean County. It's the HUD numbers of Ocean County.
Wait, so it goes by the county?
The county, yeah. Like for example,
Oh, okay.
the Lawrence, not Lawrence. It's the local.
Well, thank God.
Correct.
Oh, no, that'd be great
Some
if it-
cities actually. What's very ironic is there's some cities that are very affluent from communities, but the city they're in is very, very poor.
Right.
So their local median income is like $90,000, but there's no from family in that community that could survive on less than like 300,000.
Huh.
So it's like, ironically, for that community, it's a very small amount.
80? 90?
Oh, so 9 times $270,000
So anyone who's making less than that.
can be eligible for a full scholarship
Full scholarship.
in Lakewood, by the way.
Full scholarship, meaning however much. they
Whatever
can
the
give.
money is.
It's what's on your tax. You have to submit your tax return to qualify, I imagine.
I imagine so. How else are we going to know how much you're making?
I don't know.
Yeah. Like every other program, you have to.
Fish club and the guy can tell you how much he makes.
No, it's not a
Not that amount of money.
Very cool. Okay, so I mean,
So, for example,
so that's an example
that took 10 years of work.
of what the Agudah.
Now, someone say for 10 years, for 10 years, we've invested, let's say, Kleisel invested.
Why haven't I heard of that? I'm just curious.
About the scholarship program?
I mean, I heard of it, but like
Cool.
why?
I'll tell you
I have
why.
to sit
A few
down
things.
face to face with you.
A few things. I'll tell you why a few things. First of all,
Mainstream media.
a lot of it's mainstream media. A lot of times, people don't believe it till it actually happens. Like we've been talking about tuition relief for years.
Yeah.
Like another thing, you just get burnt out of it, which is we have a challenge in that because we have to keep on pumping as if we're fresh and we're excited after 10 years of not getting anywhere. But people just zone it out because it's just, I've heard this enough. So until it's real, I don't see it. So this actually is real. And this actually is, but again, till it actually comes, people are not going to believe it till they see it. But that's a challenge we have because we're working on things that are not tangible sometimes for years. If we talk about yeshiva stuff, right? Right now in New York City, special education, due process, families that are getting funding for their children to go to private special education yeshivas. There are regulations that were made that would have totally killed that entire industry, meaning families would no longer have had the support they had, special education. The only one talking about that in the frum community, not just the only one, but the loudest voice is Agudah Soul. Most people never even heard of this, don't know what it is. If someone doesn't have a child that's in a special education school, what does that mean? And there's also a thing that we believe the problems will be solved. They'll be taken care of. Like we have every year in Lakewood, we have a debate with all the complaints about the busing. So every year we say, you know what? We should just not have busing one year. You're right, LSTA is bad and let's just cancel it and we'll just go through the public school and no more courtesy busing and it's all over. Just like a month. And then people come back begging to bring it back. But we never let that happen. So we take it for granted that the establishment has it all worked out because
But what is
it's never going to really happen.
What else?
It's just taken care of.
What else does the Agudah have worked out that Klal Yisrael has taken for granted?
The entire the whole chinuch system right now with substantial equivalency. That was a major issue. Now it never happened. So you don't appreciate when you never lose it to get it back. It's just there. Yeah, our chinuch is being upheld. Very nice. So we don't have to shut down our yeshivas, let's say. Okay, we never were going to really shut down. Well, maybe you would have. Maybe you would have had a real problem, but we'll never know. And we're not going to take the risk to find out. So when you're preventative medicine is never as exciting as the guy that went for a surgery and he did a heart transplant. Wow. But if he would have been healthy for 40 years beforehand, he never would have needed the heart transplant. So who's the bigger miracle worker? The guy that prevented you from having a heart attack or the guy that gave you the heart transplant? The guy that prevented it.
Right.
But no one talks about that guy that prevented you from having the heart attack. They talk about the guy that did the heart transplant. Why? Because that's big. It was disaster, you saved it. We're preventing the disasters, so the appreciation for it is much less and not real. You can't touch it. And b'chlal, it's not an exciting item that sells. It's not a tearjerker. Like I was once involved in another organization, not Agudah Yisrael, another organization. And they used to always say, not to be disparaging, but just the concept. Soros sells. cancer cells. These things, they sell. They're tearjerkers. Not saying that it's easy, but it sells. You see a little kid that's going through in a hospital. How can you not help out that kid? We're going to go to Albany in a bus and we're going to meet with, senator or whatever, and we're discussing serious community issues. No one gets emotionally inspired by that. It's important work and it has to happen in our community. Totally relies on it. And my proof is that whenever something goes wrong, everyone says, where's the Agudah? When I hear that, that's the best thing. You know why? Because that shows that all the people that say we're not relevant, well, obviously we're relevant because you're talking about us. We live in people's heads. Why? Because we're relevant. If I would tell you about an organization called Advocacy, you ever heard of it? You never heard of it. Because it's not relevant. It exists, by the way. You never heard of it. Because they're irrelevant. For the last 40 years, they've been irrelevant. They haven't done anything. The fact that we're always the people complain about where we are, 100 years later, obviously because people expect us to be doing things. Why?
Well, I think
because we do a lot of things.
Well, because Agudah raises like $8 million a year, and people see that.
We don't raise $8 million a year, by the way.
Whatever, the charity campaign, whatever it is.
Yeah, but that's a lot of offices. That's not one office. That's a lot of places.
I'm not saying one office. I'm saying, Agudah has this charity campaign every year, and they raise whatever it is.
Right, how do you think they raise that money? Why are people giving? Why do we have 18,000 donors? Because it's geschmack? Why do we have 18,000 small donors? Because people are getting helped from those 18,000 people. They're getting help one way or the other.
And you're saying they're getting helped in ways that people don't even see it in their own lives.
And people will never talk about it sometimes. But I wake up in the morning and I see buses going in Lakewood. I know that every single time I see a bus going, I pat myself on the back. Not only my back, I pat on the whole group. Myself, and I call Mayor Lichtenstein, and I call Avram Kravitz, and I call all the others.
It's a lot of patting.
It's a lot of patting, but it's fun. We can all take the credit, which is it's a team effort. It's always
it's a lot of buses, yeah.
But there's like 500 buses going around a day, 500 routes, whatever it is. It's insane. Yeah, but the day that all the parent knows is that my bus didn't come today. Not that it came 300 days a year. It didn't come today, which I get that. For that day, it's very frustrating. But if we wouldn't have this arrangement, you wouldn't have busing at all. And then what would we do?
Well, so here's a question. Why is there, and I think this is like as consistent, you need more water? Is there anything in there?
I could use some more.
What if I want to actually live in Eretz Yisrael? Well, what's the first step I take? Well, you need to find a place to live. And that, my friends, is Givat HaShalva. Really 20 minutes away from Yerushalayim's backyard. This is a stunning new development. Over 1,400 units. But it's not all about the physicality. It's the community that they're building. Like-minded people coming together to build a community where you can raise your family, not just retire and find a place to kick your legs up. You're raising families. You want your grandkids there. You want your kids there. Givat HaShalva is a choice that you want to be making. You're going to hit the link in the show notes and find out more about this beautiful, beautiful development being built and how you can get involved. So if you're thinking about moving to Eretz Yisrael, Givat HaShalva needs to be the number one thing on your list that you check out. Let me tell you, they're building this place with real care and dignity. And it's honestly a Kiddush Hashem. Like, this is a way Frum Yidden can live nicely by Kavadik. It is a place that you want to see. GivatHashalva.com. Check it out for yourself. See what they're working on and see how you maybe can find a home there. If you're hurt or find yourself in an accident, which, let's be real, it happens more than we like it, you need the right lawyer on your side. That's when you call the Rothenberg Law Firm. For over 55 years, they've been a cornerstone in our community, helping people just like you. They've won and collected billions of dollars for their clients. And the best part, if they don't win, you don't pay. When you choose Rothenberg, you're not just getting a lawyer, you're getting a trusted friend who treats you like family. They understand that a personal injury can turn your life upside down. So they go well beyond just legal representation. They will make sure your medical bills are paid by the appropriate parties and that your family is taken care of during this rough time. Everybody knows Rothenberg, so you know they're the name you can trust. So if you ever find yourself needing legal help, remember to head to injurylawyer.com or call them 1-800-624-8888 for a free case evaluation. Make sure to keep the Rothenberg Law Firm on speed dial because not every injury lawyer has the resources to stand up to the big corporations and insurance companies. They've been fighting the good fight for over 5 decades and they are not slowing down. I hope you never need them, but if you do, the Rothenberg family is there for you. Why is there such a, I feel like this has been consistent as anything since the day I was born, is like, oh, the Agudah. Oh, the Agudah. What does the Agudah do? What does the Agudah do? They take our money, they make the Siyam HaShas, they make money on that also.
what in the world does the Agudah do? They do nothing.
Right.
Why does it exist? Why is that noise exist? I'm sure I myself have been guilty of saying that at times.
Everyone is guilty of it.
And you're right. When
I was guilty of it before I
happens,
started working in the Agudah.
really?
Of course.
That's shocking.
No, before when I was a bach in yeshiva, I did the same hak. They were also haks about.
Why? But why?
I don't know where it started from.
Who started it?
I don't know where it started
we
from.
blame Yeshiva World?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's a good guy.
No.
Very good guy. But you can edit that or not.
I don't know.
I don't know where you stand on that one. But I don't know where it started.
Yeah.
But it's been around for 40 years. By the way, it was around when Rabbi Yeshua was alive also, by the way. I remember as a kid hearing that also. And I'm from an old-time Agudah family. So as a kid, you did hear about it. We don't hear about it because we were raised in the next door.
You think Mike Tress is saving lives and people are like, oh, what is that going to do?
Then it was a different Klal Yisrael. Remember, when Klal Yisrael today is massive. Bli Ayin Hara, King Yerbu, we're massive. No one organization now, when the challenge is that if I'm dealing with a local issue, right? There's a limit in how much an organization that's a national organization can do on the local level. Let's say there's an ani in a town. Agudah can't help out every ani in Klal Yisrael.
Right.
Every time a guy has a legal issue, it's impossible for one organization to help every guy's legal challenge. But that guy now has a legal challenge. And Agudah has a legal services department. Why they're not helping me? They're worthless. Here it goes. So he says it, and then he says it to his kid. And his kid's, my father was in a challenge and he couldn't get helped. Agudah does nothing for anybody. Like the Rebbe Yisrael, Klal Yisrael. Rebbe Yisrael today is a lot. And to help Rebbe Yisrael is very, very challenging.
Maybe Agudah got too big then.
Not too big. It's not that we got too, Agudah didn't get too big. It's not too big.
Klal Yisrael got too big?
It's the challenges are different. The focus has to shift. Meaning when you were trying to save individual Jews from the furnace of Europe, it was in that we need to get this guy out. Every Jew you're saving was a life. Now it's a very different reality. We're not saving Jews from fires. Now there's one guy always tells me it's wholesale chesed. There's the wholesale, there's the retail. We're not retail chesed. We're not a retail store. Retail store, there's a Twillery shop on the corner. They sell great shirts. Shout out to my friends, right? Good. PZ deals, right? He does retail. He gives a deal. You go on, you buy the deal. Retail chesed, the store shops. Most important thing in the world. Then there's a manufacturer that's manufacturing mass chesed. That never gets down to the buyer.
And that's where you have your marketing problem.
And that's your challenge. It's a very, very big challenge.
How are you solving that?
It's a lot of work.
Who's the CMO?
You have someone for us?
I'll do it.
Yeah. I don't know if we can afford you.
Probably not. I don't know. But
no matter who you are, that's the challenge. It's a very, very big, because it's not, you can't hold it in your hand and say,
I know, but it's like,
by Temchi Shabbos, the box comes to your door. I got the box. Over here, say, we get money for yeshivas, right?
I know, but
parents are not
like,
feeling it. We change a law to allow certain religious accommodations. No one feels it. We did a whole thing with TSA and love. No one feels that Agudah got this. Shechita, all these things, bris milah.
It's bad marketing.
It's
bad marketing.
It's not bad marketing. It doesn't talk to people.
I don't agree.
Because we market it and we talk about it.
I don't agree.
We listen, we're open to ideas.
I don't agree.
If someone can give me a good way how to market it, that it makes it tangible, I would love to hear it. On the Adarabah, bring it on. Let me hear it.
Yeah. Like you said, he frees it for a month.
What? True.
You know?
If there was a law that went into effect about certain bris milah restrictions, it would have been wild.
I think also people, and this is New York in general, New York, New Jersey, it's like, what have you done for me lately? Right? An athlete gets signed by the Knicks. If he doesn't drop 25 a night, it's like, what have you done? And they'll boo you.
Right.
So I think after COVID, where the Jewish community was getting just like manhandled, and people get upset when they see Agudah board members taking pictures with Mayor de Blasio and elbow rubbing with him. And it's like, this guy was terrible to us. And Cuomo, this guy was terrible to us. And we're just like taking pictures with him. And everyone, no one likes the PR photos. No one cares. We don't want to be dragged by our elected officials, and we don't want the people who are supposed to defend us to be taking pictures of them. We want you to go after them. We want you to defend us to them.
So that is very easy for someone to say.
Yeah.
That doesn't have the achrayus of the community on the shoulders.
Explain that. Break that down.
I'll bring it very, very simple. For the Monday morning quarterbacks, the backseat drivers, they're the easiest and they're the most entertaining. And they're even true to a certain, because it resonates. Where are they? Why are you smiling with Mamdani? Why would you go to a meeting with Mamdani? Guy's terrible.
Yeah.
He's the mayor of the city. For the next 4 years, he is the man we have to deal with. We have two options. We can ignore him and be antagonistic to him. And they'll just say, forget, I don't need you guys. I won in a landslide without one of your votes. So I'm not going to bother even working with you if that's how you treat me. Or we can try to build some relationship and see which common ground we could actually find.
But he takes that seriously. He knows that we didn't vote for him. He
Correct,
knows that
he would love to win our vote because that would prove his whole point. He would love to win our vote.
But look at the vote he did get. Look at the Satmar vote that he did get. Everyone looks down at them for doing that, and nobody's happy with that. You want 3 years from now, the From Jews and the Flatbush be voting for him? This guy hates us.
There's a difference. Right now, he's the mayor. Whether 4 years from now will be a question in to see what he actually does. I don't know what he's going to do in the next 4 years. We have two options. For example,
look at his wife.
For example,
look who his wife is.
His wife's not the mayor.
I know, but his wife liked posts about October 7th.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm telling you the two options you have. So that the guy that has no achrayus to keep the yeshivas open, for a guy that has no achrayus to work on special education laws, for the guy that has no achrayus, it's not your job. You're selling insurance. So
it's easy to talk.
It's easy to talk. No, you should throw mud at the guy.
Have a podcast. Just talk.
Talk, exactly.
Do nothing.
But when they changed the rules in New York City on special education due process, who are you talking to? Who are you going to talk to?
Well, let me ask you a question. When you find out that the mayor of New York, who's responsible for millions of Jews, has a wife who liked posts against Jews on October 7th, what are you doing about it?
It's horrible.
What are you doing about it?
And we should express it to him. But the question
has it been expressed to him?
Of course it has. He knows that.
And what does he say?
But doesn't make that. That's the second part. My point is that you have to recognize something. We have to work with who's in power. That's the mitzvah. Achashverosh was a bad dude. He wasn't a good guy. He was a bad dude. And you know what? They had to work with him. Paroi was the worst. And there are many psukim where Moshe Rabbeinu will refer to him as HaMelech and Pari HaMelech. He's a Russia, but he's Paroi. I've heard many times, from different Gedalim that I asked, the guy came to me and said, this guy, he's like a Haman. And heard from different, okay, and if he is Haman, but he's the governor, what are you going to do? We are in Gullus. Like there's a concept of Gullus. There have forever been Rishayim at the helm. When Ramey Shapiro was part of the Polish Senate, they were tzaddikim. They were a bunch of bums. They were horrible anti-Semites. But he had to sit with them because that's who you have to be. We're not saying that everyone should be doing it, but someone's got to carry the responsibility. So for the guy sitting at home that doesn't have a kid that's in a special education school, that doesn't run a yeshiva, that doesn't have any issues with government, he can sit back and say whatever he wants. But when all of a sudden it hits the fan, who's picking up the pieces? So yeah, we have to be there. Is it geschmack? Do we enjoy it? Probably not. Many times not. But that's the reality. It's that we live in Gullus.
There's too much at stake.
What are you going to do about it? So yeah, it's very easy for those to throw and say, terrible. But who's picking up the pieces? So there are very few people that actually carry that achrayus. One of them being people in Agudah Yisrael. We carry that achrayus and others. And that's why we show up to these meetings, because we have to be there.
What do you think the national consensus is amongst Klal Yisrael about the Agudah?
The national consensus is underappreciated. Underappreciated. Now, some people take it to the next step and they go like negative.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they say, I don't appreciate it. And unfortunately, not enough appreciate it.
If we would poll 100,000 from Jews, they'd answer a poll.
I think majority would be positive, by the way.
You do?
Underappreciated. They wouldn't be able to answer the questions, but they know most people that are level-headed guys, no agendas, not pessimistic, just a regular guy, goes about his daily life, doing his thing, believes that they're doing, I may not know what it is, but they're there for a purpose. And I know they've done a lot of good stuff.
I think that
I can't pinpoint it. I also may not be attracted to it like I am to other organizations, because again, it's not a attractive thing, government advocacy. Some people love it. Those are very few. You always had that guy in your class that's like the government guy. The people that call me up, I would love to work in Agudah Yisrael, it's my dream. People that are like that.
And you guys hire him.
There's only one. Or we don't. There are people that are people like that. But there are very few of those guys that are out there. There are very few people that are like that. So those are the easy ones. But most people don't even know what government is. Look at our voting records. Most people don't vote. Why not? It's the easiest thing in the world to do. Even if you're not into government, just go push a button. In New Jersey, a mail-in ballots. Like, no reason why we don't have 100% turnout. We don't. Because there's an apathy. There's just, I don't know what this stuff is. So how do we expect them to know what Agudah is doing if they don't even know what a vote is? So that, yeah, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. But there's not something new. This has been a challenge for the last 25 years.
I think this is your biggest challenge, stepping into this role as the CEO of Agudah. Obviously, you're involved in the day-to-day operations, but this PR thing is like, I would say that's worse than anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is like,
I wouldn't say it's worse than
anti-Semitism.
But I would say it's solvable. Anti-Semitism is not solvable.
My point is, it's like that's like anti-Semites. Yeah, until it obviously peaks its head and someone does something, unfortunately, then it's terrible. Like we just saw happen in Golders Green with the ambulances and stuff like that. But just rhetoric, whatever. But people not believing that the Agudah actually could do anything, and they don't believe that.
That's I disagree. I think people believe that they could. That's why people have tightness. If you didn't believe,
they believe they're not doing enough. Do you believe that they're not doing enough?
No.
There's no part of you.
We could always do more. We could always do more. Of course, we could do more. But are we doing what we can with the resources we have? 100%. Could we do more? Absolutely, we could do, and we should do more. And I'm not sure we will do more. But we're not doing a lot. We're doing a boatload. I guess so. What has Agudah been doing? I said, you want the list? We just did our 4th mission to Albany, which is every one of those missions is we don't just show up. They're all prearranged meetings. There's agendas. There's books. There's
is that considered doing something though?
Of course it is. Because when the budget comes out and has money in there for our needs, or when laws are passed, how do you think it happens? And by the way, I have another hat. You know that.
What's that?
I happen to be an assemblyman.
Oh, yes.
We didn't get to that.
Of course.
So
yeah. I don't know how you're juggling all that.
And
there are some people who criticize that in the Lakewood media.
Criticize?
They criticize.
They asked, is that a conflict?
No, they don't. I'm not asking if it's a conflict, but they're nervous that how is he going to be someone that is going to take care of us in Lakewood and also be the CEO of Agudah at the same time?
So the one person that actually said that doesn't know that I always had another job. Every assemblyman has another job. The assembly in New Jersey is not like New York, where it's a full-time job. It's all of us have other jobs. Most assemblymen are running massive law firms and other huge industries. And till now, I worked in the Washington office, so nothing changed in my daily schedule. That's just stump ignorance, but purposeful ignorance. But regarding where are we just now? Oh, Albany. So I can tell you, of course, not that it's important. It matters. If no one shows up, nothing happens. But not just showing up. If people show up and they don't do it correctly, it's even worse. Like sometimes I've had people come to me as an assemblyman, and I told their lobbyist afterwards, you probably should never have brought that person to my office. Like he did not do himself any favor because he just totally botched up. So it's not just showing up. You have to show and know what you're doing when you show up and how you're presenting your issues. And if you do it the wrong way, it can backfire terribly. There's an art to advocacy. That's where experience comes in. That's where establishment comes in. That's where knowing years of what to do, what did work, what didn't work, who the people are, the right people. You don't go to a guy on the environmental committee to discuss about making, garbage dumps in his town because he's probably not going to be your best friend on that, right? You have to go to the right people for the right stuff. How do you know those people are? That's years of relationships and knowing people and favors, all that stuff. So if you don't show up and you do it the right way, nothing happens. The loudest wheel gets greased is the rule of government advocacy. The reason why this scholarship bill happened was because for 10 years, groups, including Agudah Yisrael, have been pounding the pavement that this is our issue. We brought, as an example, last year, I think it was last year, maybe a year and a half ago by this time, 250 people to Washington. We had a massive mission to Washington. Could be you saw pictures of it. Massive.
Sure I did, yeah.
People thought it was just our regular, it wasn't a mission to Washington. We went for one item, school choice bill. That's it. We didn't discuss anti-Semitism. We didn't discuss Israel. We didn't discuss anything. We went very razor focused. And as we told people, like if they're going to try doing the whole, Israel thing, well, you should just, I visited Israel this summer. Great. We want to talk about the scholarship bill. Like don't veer, make sure you don't let them veer that conversation that way. One focused item. And because of that, we met I think it was like 300 offices. We met that in the course of that day. We had like 60, 70 groups from one office. It was wild. It was wild. It was like a Washington takeover. Because of that, from that day on, there were dozens of more members that joined on as co-sponsors and sponsored the bill. You saw tangible results. We see it all the time. All the time we see it. So you have to show up. So yeah, in the last few weeks, we had our 4th mission to Albany. We did a Halachic Will series. We have a Yeshiva Summit coming up. We have a Rabbanim conference coming up. We have the day-to-day operations. Do you know that we're answering from yeshivas in our Yeshiva Services Department? Be'erach 70 conversations a week from different schools over basic stuff. No one knows we have a whole Yeshiva Services Department that's guiding every yeshiva in the New York State area, hundreds of schools day to day, and to make sure that they're operating correctly, that they're getting all they have to get. Yahalom, Zahav, all these groups. How do you think it happens? It doesn't just appear. It's a lot of work. But again, we have a very big challenge because it's not something you can hold in your hand, and to the average guy, it didn't affect them. So what have you done for me today? Oh, when you need it, then all of a sudden you have a whole different story. But Baruch Hashem, majority doesn't need it. But everyone needs it on the wholesale level. But to hold it in the hand and say, Agudah gave me this, it's very hard to do that. And because other organizations are able to say, I'm giving you a potato. So you got a potato. Now you can make potato cooking for Shabbos. So
Agudah made it possible for them to even buy the peeler.
That's true. Correct. But no one thinks, but no one knows. Who made your potato peeler? Did you ever look at the manufacturer of your potato peeler?
I think it was Town Appliance.
They didn't make it. They sold it to you. No one knows who makes the potato peeler. But you know the potato and you eat the potato kugel.
I think you found your marketing campaign.
Potato peelers.
Yes. Where the potato
big
peelers.
Big potato peelers, like with the logo all over it.
Yeah.
We're not potato peelers, we're the manufacturer of the potato peeler.
Yeah.
It's even a step before even.
The sweatshops.
It's a real challenge. It's absolutely, I'm not in denial. We know this is a challenge.
It's your challenge.
It's a very big challenge. It's not a new challenge. And I would love to hear ideas. I would love to hear ideas. All your audience listening.
I think
tell us ideas.
I think you have to mobilize the younger part of Klal Yisrael. You have to.
That's a very popular thing these days. The youth.
Yes.
Right. So a guy that just started working in his brand new job, that has 4 kids at home.
Yeah.
He's gonna all of a sudden leave his family for 2 days to go to Washington? Maybe. Probably not.
You tried?
Of course.
And?
That's the answer we get. How can I leave for 2 days?
But there's got to be more to do than leave to go to Washington for 2 days.
Correct.
There's more to do.
There may be some to do.
Meaning, if you're trying to get people to actually know and feel what Agudah does,
correct,
then you need more people.
It's very difficult. That's the convention, right?
Yeah.
To get a guy, young family, to come to the convention is a very big challenge. Think about it.
I went.
It costs money.
Okay. Okay.
It costs money.
Yeah.
You have to find a place for kids to go.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going for Shabbos. So if you have a limited amount of weekends, you can go away with your wife.
So how do you reach people? How do you reach young people?
It's very hard.
How do you get them involved?
It's a very, very hard challenge. It's a very hard challenge. We have to obviously, change some of our marketing stuff to be more relevant to today and be more out there and put more of an emphasis. Also, media. The cloud media also has changed.
Do you think there's any?
It is no longer the print media. Is very different than what it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, this thing wasn't around.
You have podcasts there. Here I am.
You are.
Here I am. So you have to be more, willing to engage.
Listen, look how Donald Trump won this election. What happened?
Correct.
The polls are very tight. His son Barron said to him,
Get on the Rogan show.
Got to go on Rogan. You got to go on this guy. You got to go on that guy.
You have to meet people where they are, 100%. We have to change our media a little bit and our willingness to engage in new sources of media, 100%. But there's always going to be that challenge of youth getting involved, whether we get involved. And what does that mean?
It's another like one of these tropes.
Get involved. Yeah, get involved and do what? You want to write a brief for you? I'm not a lawyer. Well, how am I getting involved? Go to Albany. Oh, yeah, we love you to come to Albany. I can't take a day of work. Right? Most people can't just take off a day of work to go to Albany. And even if I go, many people don't even appreciate the whole going around to offices. There's very few people. So the whole idea of we're gonna do it. Okay, let's. We would love to. We would love to, and we do, and we try to get. It's a natural challenge. There's a natural challenge, and the whole idea of get involved. Great. So, what does that mean? Are people really ready for that?
Well, does Agudah really want them to?
Of course.
Well, they have to show that willingness to.
Of course, and we always are.
Because I don't know. Listen,
I don't think anyone can say they reached out to Agudah to get involved and we rejected them. I can't imagine that happened, unless the guy was nuts.
Or if they, how about
unless the guy's like a liability. Like we've had people call us up sometimes that the guy's a total lunatic. And like, no, you probably don't want to come to Albany. You know?
But there's more than Albany, right?
I'm just giving you an example.
Right,
That's just an example I'm giving you. But there's we have, for example, we started a whole program for senior services. We have many lawyers that reach out to us to volunteer their time. We use them. We have a monthly halachic will event where people can come and get a real halachic will signed by, we have a dayanim there, we have rabbanim there, we have edim there. You're getting a full service package of like $50, whatever the amount of money is. And we have lawyers that have an ability and they volunteer their time. We have abundant volunteers. We have weird people get involved. So I don't think we've ever rejected someone from that would like to help us out, that we could use help. Please come. It's a challenge. It's a big challenge.
I wish you the most hatzlach on this challenge. I think we all want a successful Agudah.
Of course, a successful Agudah is a more successful Klal Yisrael. I really believe that, by the way. I believe in politics also. People like when Biden won, right? President Biden won. People are like, I hope he fails. I hope he doesn't fail. Because if he fails, that means we're suffering.
Yeah. We see that.
If he fails, the economy goes bust, you're not having your money. Like once the guys in leadership, we want them to succeed. So now lahavdil elef alfi avdalos. You know, a successful Agudah is a more successful Klal Yisrael.
Listen, I'm sure there's a lot that people are gonna. Every podcast I do, there's gonna be criticisms of me of like, oh, why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? And I encourage people to ask questions in the comments, and Avi will be so gracious to go look at them and maybe reply. But I think like there are a lot of questions. Perhaps Agudah should host a town hall and answer people's questions directly. And there should be basically like there should be this transparency, and there should not be this like top down approach, but like it should be level the field. Like we're here with you, and we're working with you, and we're working for you. So I hope people can have those questions, and I really, really look forward to this bill actually being in effect, where people can get money
finally
for tuition, because this is like the number one thing that's handcuffing people. It's so
financially
hard.
it's the largest financial strain,
and the financial leads to emotional and everything else. You know, it's spiritual and marriage
100%.
And everything. Like
100%.
Family of 6. Are you kidding me? And if you think it feels good for them not to pay tuition, and they have to get a break, and then
and sit before yeshiva boards and tuition boards and have to go through that, not fun experience. Not blaming any side. I'm just saying it's not a fun experience from both sides, by the way. Tuition boards don't enjoy it either.
Right.
Just letting you know, like it's not to get this fun out of having to go through a guy's finances and tell him,
I hope not.
I really believe they don't.
Yeah.
I believe that anyone that does that is coming from a good place. I mean, unless you're really, unique. But it's not a pleasurable experience for anyone to do it. But it has to get done. And hopefully this will ease that tremendously.
I hope so.
But I guarantee you one thing.
Yeah.
Going back to that. You ready? That family that's going to get that $5,000 scholarship.
Or 10.
Or whatever it is for 5 kids. They just got $50,000. They just got off the tuition bill.
Unreal.
They're probably never going to realize
the 10 years.
Came because of Agudas Yisrael. That's the challenge.
Well, that's your job.
It's but even that, we can have a stamp on every check that they get. That's not happening, right? How do you do that? Remind them, by the way, the check you got. Oh, thank God. People don't appreciate that either. So it's a challenge. But here's the thing that because of our work, we Baruch Hashem with a boatload of siyata d'shmaya got something done. And in 8 years from now, in 10 years from now, no one is going to remember that Agudah sold it.
Well, now they will.
For a year, they watch this podcast.
Well,
but even for a year, in 8 years, no one's remembering it. So what do you do? This is a prime example. There's something that's real, that's going to have a huge impact, that's going to affect people. This is like the prime example of Agudah success that actually will, b'siyata d'shmaya, have an unbelievable impact in Klal Yisrael. And in 8 years, nobody is going to remember that when that family gets that check, they're not going to associate it. Oh, thank God, Agudas Yisrael.
I think they will. I think it's the same way Mike tries to save families. They pull people out of these DP camps and they save them in the Holocaust, and they will always remember that. I think this is the type of thing
I hope
that
so.
Financially is going to save families
for sure
from turmoil.
For sure.
So I
hope so.
Yes,
I hope so. But that's the challenge.
Yeah. Well, Avi, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate.
Thank you.
appreciate you giving the time.
We could have gone for like another 5 hours.
I know you got to get to the city for
This
an
is wild.
important meeting, but
What time? Wow.
yeah, not bad.
Time flies. We didn't even touch upon Kamunk. We didn't touch upon Trank. We didn't touch upon yeshiva system stuff. Oh, we didn't even get anywhere.
We're gonna have to have a follow up. But
we'll see the reviews on this one.
We'll just say Cat Monk, Rabbi Trank. See you next time.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Meaningful People. I hope you don't hate me. I hope I didn't get canceled. I hope everything worked out. But make sure to leave a comment down below. I'd love hearing your thoughts and ideas. If you're not a Meaningful and a Plus member yet, 3-day free trial right now. It's free for 3 days. Go to mmplus.org. Become a member, 3 days for free. This past week, I did a one-on-one interview with Kayla Levin about marriage. First year married, Shalom Bias. That's exclusive to Plus members, and there's a lot more like that throughout the week, every single week. Up there from me, from Sipar Grutko, from the Ben Shushans, only on Meaningful and a Plus. Learning never ends on Meaningful and a Plus, so please become a member today, support Meaningful Minute, and gain exclusive content. Thank you all again for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give your feedback, and I can't wait to see you next time.